Good morning, Fed Phoenixes. So, I got about 35 days until I self-surrender, and like most people, going through what I'm going through, at my place in the journey. I check the BOP website. I know it updates at 3 a.m. every day, Grand Prairie time. So for my time, that'd be 4 a.m. And pretty much at that point, whatever information is there is what's going to be there for the next 24 hours. But I've gotten into a routine where every morning I check the BOP website. A lot of times at night before I go to bed, I check it. Waiting to pop up on there, And so this morning I was checking it and I'm on there. Of course, it says not in BOP custody because I'm on pre-sentence release, and it says release date unknown because they haven't did the calculations on that yet. I figure that'll be another week or two before they'll actually have something in there. And for those of you who are new to this as well, that expected release date or whatever will include your 54 days a year off good time. So you don't actually earn them. You're just kind of automatically given them. And then they are potentially going to be taken away as a disciplinary measure during your incarceration or during your probation. But they kind of front them to you, But it was surreal, like to go on there, it's, my phone automatically autofills my name in because, I do this so much. And I autofill my name and I press search and boom, there I am. And I guess it's a good thing in some ways. It definitely makes the situation feel less surreal, like more, because a part of me, as crazy as I know it is, just feels like it's not real some days. I feel like I just have this sense like I'm gonna get a phone call like a week before or something, or a couple weeks before my lawyer's gonna say we got to go back in front of the judge this week or next week, and the judge is gonna say, I've reconsidered and you're going to serve your time on home confinement, or I reconsidered and we're just going to give you probation. And I think that's mostly because I feel that I'm not a person that should be in jail, and I'm not a person that needs to be, in prison or needs to be in prison. Heck, probation said I didn't need to be in prison. They said I wasn't a flight risk and I wasn't a threat to the community. And if someone's not a threat to the community, and since we know the prison system in this country is all about deprivation and punishment and really just psychologically damaging a person as much as possible, it's not about rehabilitation or anything productive. To put someone in prison who doesn't actually need to be in prison, as far as public safety goes, is really kind of crazy to me. That's how we do things here in our country, but it is what it is. But on the downside, like, of me being on the BOP website, like, it kind of, I guess maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe it's a good thing that it's not surreal anymore. Or there probably won't be any more moments where it's surreal, for a period of time. And it definitely, definitely just really kind of drove home the reality of this situation, that this really is my life. This really is my reality. This really is happening. It kind of took away the ability for my mind to kind of go down a rabbit hole and think that there's any possible way that this is going to somehow take a 180 turn unexpectedly, and it's, my reality is not going to be life in prison for a period of time. And that's kind of humbling. Like, when I seen it, honestly, like, I kind of my eyes watered a little bit. I teared up a little bit. I didn't really cry, but I had like an emotional moment. Like, it really caught me off guard. I fully expected to put in my name and press search and it to say, no results found. Like it's been doing for the last 3 weeks. So it really kind of took me by surprise. You know what I mean? It's kind of like going through someone's phone because you suspect something, and then finding what you suspected or already knew. It still kind of takes you by surprise a little bit. You know what I mean? Because a part of you wants to believe that it's not what it is, And then next week, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail about this because it's rather personal, but next Monday I have family court, as I've vaguely mentioned a few times. My youngest child's father and I have been in a custody battle since my house got raided that actually kind of gave my child's father the catalyst to have something to have a custody battle with me about. Um, and so, I'm really nervous about next Monday because I'm certainly going to ask the judge for something in the order. I mean, I know once I'm in prison, this judge will not require that I be given any contact at all with my child, any, or that the child's other parent has any allows my family any contact, or that the child's parent even gives me updates on anything. My youngest child's other parent. But I'm hoping to get worked into that to where, legally my family will be awarded some access during my incarceration. Because I know that's what's in my youngest child's best interest, my eldest child's best interest, who's an adult, and my family's. And it would give me some peace of mind. You know what I mean? But I know with this particular judge, it's not likely that that's actually going to be granted. So, that's really a pretty anxiety-inducing situation to see how that's going to play out in a few days. Well, like 5 days. But, and, you guys know I did a lot of medical preparation for prison. One of the things I did is I have a myriad of back issues, from degenerative disc to bulging disc to herniated disc, arthritic crap in my joints, all that. But I went and got outpatient surgery for epidural injections into my spine a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago, to make my pain level, less, more manageable, more livable. And those injections have actually kind of worn off. So thankfully this morning I was able to schedule for another round of injections in a couple weeks. So hopefully when I first get to prison, at least for a while, I won't have such an intense level of chronic pain. So it'll be easier for me to function, at least when I first get there. I mean, if you're going to have mobility issues, which will easily be mistaken as disciplinary issues, if you can put that off until you get in there and you establish to your caseworker and the COs and stuff, like, I'm really not trying to be difficult, that's really in your best interest. You don't want to go in appearing to potentially be trying to be difficult, But yeah, so that's where my thoughts are, with everything. It's overwhelming, you know what I mean? And I'm just really, one thing I was thinking about the other day, this is an example of where your mind goes in this process. But I was thinking, I'm a fan of when The Walking Dead first came out. The later seasons I'm not so impressed with, but the initial first 5-9 seasons I really liked. But I've always kind of worried, like, in a situation where there's a societal collapse, right? Like Walking Dead type stuff happens. The people in prisons are really up a creek without a paddle, because we've seen in this country that more often than not, when prisons, due to natural disaster, become unfunctioning and very dangerous places, the COs pretty much just lock everybody in and then they leave to go save their own families, and the inmates are left for dead. The cool thing about going to a camp is there's no fences, there's no towers, So in a societal collapse situation, you can just walk off, right behind the COs. I mean, they could probably lock you into your housing unit, but then it's you and a couple hundred other inmates, and you only got to get through 1 or 2 doors. I think we could figure it out, probably pretty quick, if we had to in a pinch. So, so I oddly enough was thinking about that last night, and I felt a sense of peace with that, because I'm like, okay, even if there's some major disaster that just, causes a complete societal collapse, I will not live out my last days in a cage with other people, fending for whatever resources exist or remain until we all kill each other or just die. I'll actually have a chance to get to my family, a chance to save myself, to save my loved ones. And I know that the chances of something like that happening are so slim. I'm kind of a prepper, so, I think about these things probably more than most people. But, but it gave me some comfort knowing that I would have options in a situation like that. So, oof. And hopefully in a week or two, you know, I'll be designated, and I'll have more information to share, you know, when that happens. As always, the hope is that I go to Federal Prison Camp Alderson here in Alderson, West Virginia. Sorry, I keep looking away. Y'all know I have a really high sense of situational awareness. You know what I mean? And that's a result of many things. But I've always been like that. You know, I just, you know, whenever I'm anywhere other than by myself in a locked room, I'm always like hyper alert. You know what I mean? So a cop just pulled somebody over, like literally right in front of me in the parking lot, and but as soon as I seen the lights, the cops' lights light up, I know there's no reason for law enforcement to be messing with me right now. I'm not doing nothing wrong. There's just no reason. I don't even drive at night. The only thing wrong in my world is my car has a headlight out, but I don't even drive at night because I can't see because of my astigmatism, and the glare from the lights, the street lights and the cars and stuff blinds me. But every time a cop gets behind me, I see a cop sitting somewhere and I got to drive past him, you know, like the speed traps, or I see a cop light somebody up, and for that little second, you don't know if it's you or someone else getting lit up. My heart kind of starts really just, you know, I get super anxious, you know, I get scared. And I know that it's completely illogical that some random cop is going to pull me over and run my name and be like, "Oh, you're a pending federal inmate, so, you know, let me plant some drugs in your car, or let me just arrest you for whatever, you know, make up something." And then I would be bounced around county and regional jails, you know, federal holding facilities, you know, which a lot of county and regional jails are classified as, you know, for you know, all or most of my sentence under unthinkable living conditions. I know the chances of that, the likelihood of that is almost non-existent, but yet it's a constant fear of mine. So, and I can't even make it make sense for you, in all honesty. But that's an update 35 days before my self-surrender. If you like the video, feel free to share the video. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to hit the dingy, the notifications bell. Make sure you hit all, not personalized. There's a thing with YouTube with that. You know, as I've mentioned before, you know, once I get to the halfway house, you know, I'll document my journey all the way up until self-surrender. And then I'll pick back up documenting at halfway house and then my reentry process, you know, as I'm coming home and stuff. And, you know, and so if you're curious as to where things go with this journey, or how this changes me as a person, or my situation changes, or you know, whatever, feel free to hit the notifications bell, because that's the only way that you'll really know, you know, be made aware when I come out of prison. I'm in the halfway house, you know, an update on what prison was like and what the halfway house is like. And then when I go home, what that transition is like for me and that type of thing. So anyway, and I'll reiterate, even though it has proved completely fruitless up to this point, but maybe a year from now, someone will watch this video and be like, "Dang, she's all right. She's a cool person. She's a nice person. She's doing a good thing. I want to bless her." But, you know, if you want to be financially supportive, my Cash App and PayPal are in the description. I do self-surrender to prison on December 3rd. So if you want to be financially supportive after that point, you can use my inmate number, which is also in the description, and go online. And the Federal Bureau of Prisons has a few different ways you can actually send money to an inmate. Or if you want to just keep in contact, you know, you can use my inmate number and go on the Federal Inmate Locate. Federal Inmate Locator. Just Google that, it'll pop up, and put in my name or my inmate number, and you know, you'll be able to find me, you know, find the facility I'm at, you know, click on that facility. It'll give you the address to write me, you know, because any kind of support, you know, not just financial, would be greatly appreciated through this journey. So good day. God bless. And I hope this has been helpful or insightful.